Why Bioshock? That's the question I keep asking myself whenever I come back to Rapture. What is it about this dystopian underwater city that fascinated me so much with a desire of returning to it time and time again? And to be completely honest, I never had a clear answer. But man, there's something there. So I've been thinking about it after my last playthrough, which led me to making this. As you can tell by the title of this video, I've been really out of touch with video games for a while. Now this is not the first time it's happened, but as always, when something like this occurred, my mind went straight to Bioshock. And I doubt that I'm the only person that feels this way, a means of finding enjoyment again in video games. But before diving in, I need to mention that I'm going to spoil this game big time. So with that out of the way, let's talk about a game like no other, Bioshock.
Get away! You enjoyed it? And you enjoy it?
Clear as rainbow. Time to find the angel.
Bioshock features one of the best video game introductions ever made. That sense of mystery is so powerful once you descend into the depths of Rapture. The immense scope of the city shown in just a few moments alongside Andrew Ryan's iconic speech is a moment hard not to remember. It always feels like stepping into the unknown, something unlike anything else. On the outside, Rapture looks like a ultimate civilization, free from the world's constraints. But it doesn't take a genius nor a long time to realize that in a place so off the grid, it can't be all that nice, because hell's broken loose inside the aquarium. From the moment you step into Rapture, it isn't just a place, it's a mood. If I had to choose one word to describe the atmosphere, it would be oppressive. There's no other game that hits the same in terms of the atmosphere. The game does a fantastic job at capturing the feeling of a failed society, so isolated from the rest of the world that no one even knows what the fuck is going on. The atmosphere is so thick that you could drown in it. Bioshock makes sure you see just how promising Rapture once was before it all went to shit. Through locales like Neptune's Bounty, Arcadia, and even Farmer's Market, you can get a glimpse of how comforting this place could have been if you took away all the crazies and the big daddies and the broken walls. But by the time Jack arrives, Rapture is nothing more than a battlefield and a dumping ground for outcasts and misfits. I love how the game emphasizes all of this through its world building. It's not just the ruined environments, it's the way splicers constantly talk about Andrew Ryan, either worshipping him or calling him a fraud. These little details build the story and immersion in ways that are easy to overlook. And good God, I do not want to sound like a fanboy, but I just can't get enough of this atmosphere and world building. It's so dead and alive at the same time. It's so comforting yet so oppressive. It's got beauty and it's got horror. Like no bullshit, every time I come back here I feel like I'm inside a post-apocalyptic world where savages rule and kill anything that moves, which I just realized reminds me of Fallout for some reason. And even though this is a video game, it's not a far-out representation of what could happen in the real world. I mean, you never know. That's why I think Bioshock's atmosphere hits so hard. Not just for me, but for a lot of people. It's not the lands of Skyrim, it's not the Wild West, it's not the town of Silent Hill, it's not anything else, it's Rapture. It carves out its own identity, one that can never be mistaken for anything else. There are very few linear games that make me want to explore the environment, and Bioshock is one of them. And it isn't just about exploring a ruined utopia that makes it interesting, it's about surviving it. The world may look inviting sometimes, but the second a splicer or a big daddy shows up, that feeling of dread hits you like a train. You didn't ask to be here, you were just a guy on a plane that crashed near a lighthouse. You are not ready, but this is a video game, so you gotta fight back. So Bioshock is a first-person sci-fi video game with typical action horror tropes. And I think the combat is another aspect where the game shines at. It's not perfect in terms of fluidity and design, but it's quite different from what you usually see because it's not just a guns blazing game. There is a wide variety of firepower included in your arsenal to accompany you throughout the journey. But the plasmid powers are the game changer, and once you get comfortable with them, you'll use them quite often. They're not only required for combat against enemies, they're very useful in environmental situations as well. In Neptune's Bounty, there is a frozen doorway blocked by ice. To proceed, you must first obtain the incinerate plasmid and then return to melt the ice to unlock your path forward. There's also another moment early to midway through the game where that specific section happens in a half-frozen environment, and under the ice you can find items and a bunch of useful things. Incinerate is just one of the many useful plasmids in Bioshock. Electrobolt is another useful plasmid that not only can it be used to stun enemies running at you, but you can use it in creative ways, combining it with your environment. Some places feature flooded floors. I think you know what I want to say next. Same works for the incinerate when there's gasoline leaks on the floor. Enrage is another very useful tool usable in combat to make your enemies fight each other. But there is one specific plasmid that is 100 times better. The Hypnotize Big Daddy. It's pretty self-explanatory. You fool the Big Daddy into thinking you're one of the little sisters. It's really funny to me how tense I feel every time I start a new playthrough of Bioshock and I see one of these things, remembering that I'm going to have to fight one of them at some point. The first encounter with the Big Daddy is always crazy because he's big, he's fast, he's weird as shit, and he hits like a truck. But once you get your hands on the Hypnotized Big Daddy plasmid, the game became instantly more fun for me. So suddenly it goes from "Oh Big Daddy, please don't hurt me daddy" to "He's my daddy now." That sounded better in my head. Basically, he goes from a deadly threat to a glorified bodyguard who will protect you even from other Big Daddies, not just the splicers. And honestly, that shift in my game choice never gets old. Still funny many times after replaying it. Now, to be fair, it feels a little odd to have him following you for like the first 10 to 15 minutes, because I always look behind me because of his footsteps. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm scared he might fucking kill me. You don't have to go for this style of gameplay. Bioshock will allow you to go on a playthrough devoid of plasmids. They're not required for like 90% of the time, but they're such a fun and interesting feature of this game which makes it instantly more appealing. And the list keeps going with these, each and every single one being in their own right very good. These are just the ones I use the most, so I wanted to highlight them out. But there's another side of Bioshock's combat design that allows you to thrive in Rapture. It allows you to bend the system on which this place was built upon. Per se, a way to weaponize your surroundings. Hacking isn't just a feature in Bioshock, it's kind of a game changer. Now I have to admit, I wasn't using this feature on turrets and drones that often. More just safes and vending machines so I can get cheaper items or get some treasure. But when I really had to, it really made things easier. It's really cool how everything this game throws at you can be used for your own interest, but I do not like the hacking system personally. Its whole design isn't really my cup of tea because I would either find them annoying or tedious. Thankfully, you can skip them.
Andrew Ryan asks you a simple question.
Now that we got to this point, would you kindly subscribe and leave a like? Would you kindly do that for me? Not to avoid saying it, Bioshock does include somewhat of a skill tree. Not downright RPG, but it's still a feature. You can upgrade your plasmids to higher levels and your perks to higher levels to ensure different things for you. You know, I didn't write anything down. They are called engineering tonics. Again, skills used to boost certain stats, like making you a better hacker, giving you more health from chips and whatever you find around, or first aid kits. They are very useful. So you go from being the outsider hunted down by the system to the man bending the system, or so you thought. It makes you ask yourself if you are ever really in control.
Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
A man chooses, a slave obeys.
For the entire game, you've been chasing Andrew Ryan. The game paints him in every aspect as the villain. But what makes it so interesting to me is that you never really stop and wonder if that's the case. That's the essential core of Bioshock's story. It's a take on manipulation and control. It is very cloudy in my opinion because of Atlas, whom you never meet, only talk on the radio from time to time, telling you what to do essentially. He guides you from the very beginning and you learn to trust him, but as the story goes on you slowly start to understand that he might have other twisted desires. Maybe there is no family of his that you need to save. But you never question it. At least I didn't. Maybe I'm dumb enough to have never did, but whatever. Whenever I play the game, now knowing what happens, I always stop and think about my actions. But I understand that there's like no way to avoid it because I don't have that player agency. The game makes you feel like a fool to think that you're in control. And I feel that the choice of making Jack, the playable character, a mute helps a lot for this shocking twist. It's not like in other games like Breath of the Wild where the name has a face to it but no thoughts. It's not even like in Resident Evil 7 for an example, where the name doesn't have a face but has thoughts of his own. Jack has neither of those. Your reactions collide with his reactions, because it feels like you're him more than he is himself. When the game reaches climax and I found out everything from Andrew Ryan, it was over. That for me, the first time, that was a punch in the gut, man.
I gotta say, I had a lot of business partners in my life, but you...
To know that I never even questioned anything. None of my actions. The phrase he says, "a man chooses, a slave obeys," genuinely made my blood boil the first time because that slick motherfucker was even demonstrating it to me.
Sit, would you kindly? Stand, would you kindly?
The idea hits even harder when you realize that "would you kindly" wasn't that kindly after all. It hypnotized you all along. Killing Andrew Ryan was my mission and my sole purpose other than escaping the whole time. And now that I did it, I felt robbed. After that reveal, I didn't even know if I should accept the help of anybody in this fucking game. Because what if? Tell me, what if they tried to do the same thing? Bioshock isn't just about the action of surviving a ruined city. It's about systems and political, social, psychological things that shape and control us, often invisibly. And sometimes the biggest enemy isn't the obvious villain, but the unseen strings that pull us. That's what gives Bioshock its timeless power. It's a dark reflection of control and free will, and that's why it stays with you long after the credits roll. By no means is Bioshock a perfect game. I'm not fucking blind. I have my own problems with it. The shooting mechanics kinda suck at times and only start to annoy me, but at the same time they aren't too bad for me to really complain. And the last boss fight of the game is complete dog shit. I really appreciate the effort 2K, but the execution could have been much better. I kind of felt like I was again robbed of a satisfying revenge, but this one wasn't in a good way like the twist. But for what it's worth, this game is very solid all around. Now to answer the question, why Bioshock? It's not just the atmosphere, the gameplay, or the story twist. Bioshock isn't trying to be the next X, Y, or Z, or the killer of X, Y, Z. It wants to be its own game. Not striving to be something huge in the gaming industry, neither trying to dethrone something else. Instead, it pulls you into Rapture, a broken dream beneath the sea, and makes you confront ideas about control and freedom and what it really means to have a choice. Bioshock isn't just a game, it's an experience and a question. And every time I come back, I try to figure out why Bioshock speaks to me so much. But now, with this video finally made, I think I get it. Thank you for watching my video. I was sweet, and I'll see you next time.